Hey guys, it's Arit. Welcome to the Arit Music channel where I share all different kinds of tutorials on marketing your music. Today's video is kind of in response to a previous video that I put out on this channel about Toneden. And Toneden is a platform that I've used before to run ads to my Spotify, so to get more Spotify followers. And I did that with their platform because they have different what they call playbooks, which is basically an ad campaign that is specifically directed towards a certain goal. So they have one for Spotify, they have a Spotify growth playbook, they have an Instagram growth playbook, different playbooks. So I did a video showcasing me setting up the Spotify growth playbook, and you guys were like, that looks so cool, that's awesome, it looks super easy to set up, but wait a minute. It costs an extra $50 a month to run this in addition to the ad spend. So here's the deal. When you sign up for Toneden, you do get a 7-day free trial where you can try out all of their stuff. But if you want to continue using their playbook campaigns and running ads with their platform, then you will need to switch to their subscription, which is $50 a month. And yes, this is in addition to the actual dollars spent for running ads. So Toneden works in conjunction with Facebook ads. And, I wanted to do a deep dive on, it ultimately comes down to, well, what's the difference? If I can go straight to Facebook Ads Manager and run my ads through there, I don't have to pay the extra $50 a month. And that's true. So it ultimately comes down to, well, what's the difference? What good am I getting from Toneden that I'm paying an extra $50 to use their tool? So that's what this video is about. And I want to do a deep dive. I have 4 points for you. I'm going to start off with the most obvious and then maybe end with some not so obvious ones that you didn't know. And I'm going to finish off this video with, is it actually worth paying the $50 a month? So let's start with the most obvious difference. So Facebook Ads Manager can be super intimidating if you've never actually spent enough time in there. It's like a lost lagoon of numbers and stats, and it can get messy. If you're not someone who likes dealing with numbers or who gets overwhelmed with detailed, intricate details of the platform and that kind of thing, there's a lot in there, and it's a good thing, but can also be extremely distracting from actually running a campaign and seeing the metrics that you need to see right off the bat to know whether it's working or not for you. So the difference with Toneden is that it's super easy, very user-friendly, and I set up a campaign in like 10 minutes. If you haven't watched that video on my channel, you can definitely check it out. I show you how to set it up so you can actually see what it looks like setting it up. It makes it super easy, whereas with the Facebook Ads Manager, even if you do kind of know what you're doing, it takes a little bit of time to make sure you're doing the right things. It can take me sometimes at least 30 minutes to set up a campaign with the Facebook Ads Manager. So with Toneden, it's straight up like playbook. You want to grow your Spotify? Okay, click on that. You open it up, you connect your Facebook page. They actually pull up some audiences for you. It's like basically like a few step process. I think it's something like a 5-step process, and then you actually launch your campaign. So they make it very easy to handle. And also in terms of monitoring, you can see the stats that you need to know right off the bat. So right at the top, when you click on your campaign, you can see how many new followers you got from the campaign, what your cost per new follower is, and how much you've spent in total. And then scrolling down, you can see your cost per click and all that kind of stuff if you want to dive into more details. They show you right off the bat, this is the ad that's working best for you in this audience. So they make it visually super easy to understand what the heck is going on. Point number 2. So what you can do with Toneden is that when you run a campaign, you can actually save that audience that you're marketing to so that you can retarget them later and run ad campaigns on different platforms. Like let's say, for example, you ran an ad campaign to grow your Spotify followers, and now you have a show coming up. So you use Eventbrite to promote your show, and you want to target that same same audience that you marketed to, and market your Eventbrite page to invite them to come to your show. You could totally do that. And same with Instagram, and same with a whole bunch of different things. I'm actually going to show you, let's go out of this screen. So right here, they have playbooks for events. So you can, they have one for TikTok, for YouTube, for Instagram. This all uses Eventbrite. You can specifically do playbooks for your music. So growing any of your social marketing platforms here, if you're running contests. And that's what I mean by retargeting audiences. If you run one campaign, you can take that audience that you promoted to that have already seen your stuff and market to them again, telling them about your show, telling them about following you on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. So you can cross promote across these platforms because Toneden saves those audiences for you in an easy way. This is kind of like your all-in-one marketing team. So if you are someone who's planning on doing social marketing across different platforms, you want to grow your Spotify following, but also your Instagram, maybe you have a presence on YouTube and you have shows coming up, you want to do different things, even if it's just at least 2 things that you're working on, this is going to be very useful for you because you can leverage your marketing that you did on one platform and use it again for other platforms, in addition to marketing to new audiences, of course. And I like that it keeps everything all in one place. You're coming to one platform to run those ads out to promote your music rather than spending time on different platforms to do these ad campaigns. Point number 3 is that Toneden will optimize your budget based on where more activity is happening in terms of conversions for your ads so that you're not wasting money. Now, Facebook does do this as well, but there are certain limitations with Facebook's budget optimization that Toneden kind of has smoothed out and makes it better for people to run ads. One of the limitations of Facebook ads budget optimization is that it's largely dependent on conversions, so that sometimes those, when you have conversions happening very early on in the game with your ads, it might not have the big enough picture to look at the performance of your ads as a whole. So just because your ads might be converting initially very well doesn't mean that is who you want to be marketing more to. So for example, one of the challenges that happens with worldwide targeting is that Facebook will show your ad right away to more people who are clicking on it. But the problem with that is that they might over-index on those cheap markets with the low cost per click. For example, if it'll see lots of clicks coming from India initially, those conversions, so it'll put more money to go market to that country alone, to India, when you want to look at everything as a whole. So in order to make sure your growth is more balanced in this way, what Toneden has done is they looked at the most active markets, the most active locations or countries that are using Spotify to begin with, if you are running the Spotify growth campaign. And those are about 70 plus countries. And they divided them into 3 different tiers. So you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 markets. So it takes the tier that is doing well, which is a group of countries, not just a single country. And if you're getting a lot of conversions within that tier, it'll adjust the budget accordingly so that you're always smoothing things out. You're putting money where it's most converting and not losing anything. So this way you can optimize your budgets across the 3 tiers and you're not overspending on some market where it's not as active for Spotify growth and that kind of thing. So point number 4 is also kind of tied into this budget optimization. The fact that it's creating smart audience groups to target to with the different tiers, tier 1 being the most expensive countries to advertise to. You have US, basically North America, but some other countries too, like Brazil's in there and everything. And then as you go down to tier 3, those countries are generally cheaper in terms of advertising too. So this smart grouping of audiences and adjusting it accordingly for your ad campaign so that you make the most of it is really great. And another cool thing is that they kind of have like an AI when you're setting up a platform, like an AI of audiences where you're choosing the interests and the targeting interests. If you start to put like similar artists that sound like you, which is those are the audiences that you want to be targeting, or at least starting off with, what they will do is that they'll automatically pull up similar interests and audiences that are like that artist. So let me show you here on the back end. I did show it in the other video, but so let's just say I'm setting up another Spotify growth campaign here. So under where you actually set up your targeting for your Spotify fans, this is where you add in Spotify artists who are similar to your sound. So let's just say I'm going to start entering Britney Spears just for the hell of it, right? You can see here as I'm starting to add those Spotify artists, it's going to target fans, similar fans of other artists as well. So they're going to generate a whole bunch of interests here. Britney, Nelly, Jennifer, all of these things. And you can cross out any one of them. Like if you see like Lindsay Lohan, nah, just X out of those ones if you can adjust them accordingly. But you want to add at least 3 artists here, and then you can start to see as I'm typing more in, it expands more interests. So it's an AI that really helps you diversify your interests and just better targeting that way as well, since it's pulling that information for you and you don't have to be shooting in the dark, putting in every single interest separately. And you can see here, you can also expand this audience to find even more new interests. So you can say, okay, add 10 more and they'll pull up 10 more. So, it's really helpful that way. So yes, we have an easy to set up campaign, user-friendly platform. We have the smart audience targeting, the budget optimization, and we have the ability to retarget audiences on multiple platforms, thereby carrying those audience campaigns or those audiences to promote to over and over again. But is it worth it? So are these differences between Toneden and Facebook Ads Manager worth it? And in the end, you have to ask yourself that question. Is that $50 extra a month worth using their platform versus just going straight ahead to Facebook Manager and doing it yourself? And if you are someone who is new to running ads in the Facebook Ads Manager, maybe spending that extra $50 a month is actually going to be saving you in the long run in terms of learning everything about the Facebook Ads Manager in order to actually use it. You got to ask yourself, how much extra time will it take for me to learn running ads in the Facebook Ads Manager or marketing to different audiences on different platforms? So if you are someone who is planning on, you want to do all of your marketing from a centralized place and have that carried across different things like Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, even at least 2 of those things like I mentioned earlier, this could be more worth it for you. If you're someone who's super familiar with Facebook Ads Manager, you're comfortable with it already, and or maybe you're not planning on doing too many different ad campaigns, then maybe it's more worth it to stick with what you know and not go with Toneden. So you really have to ask yourself, how much is it worth it? Not just in terms of the $50 cost money per month, but also in time. For me personally, I like having the easy to set up campaign is just that one reason alone is enough for me to just keep using Toneden for now at least. And I always try to look for different ways to leverage with my marketing and doing things more automated and having a centralized place where I could do multiple things. And for me, Toneden looks like that platform. So guys, let me know what you think about this comparison. Does one look better than the other to you? Is it more worth it to go with Toneden versus Facebook ads? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Check out that video that I did on how to set up your own Spotify playbook with Toneden if you haven't already, so you can actually see more of what the back end looks like. And I also have a link down in the description below that you could sign up for your free Toneden account. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more good stuff coming your way. I always share different things that I'm learning on Spotify growth, on ads, on YouTube as I'm promoting myself as a music artist, and I'd love to share the journey with you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.